Cebu just hosted the recent 74th Philippine Airlines Interclub Golf Tournament. This is the biggest golfing event of the country with participants from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and even abroad. Alta Vista Golf and Country Club, where we are now, hosted the seniors tournament along with Club Filipino Incorporada de Cebu in Danao, while the men's tournament was played at Club Filipino Incorporada de Cebu and Cebu Country Club. For this episode of Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show, we have with us the team captains of Alta Vista Team 1 and Team 2, Mr. 𝗡𝗟𝗟 and Richelieu Mariano Ho, winners of their respective divisions in the men's tournament. This is Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show, and I'm your host, Nimrod Quiñones. Welcome back to Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show, and I am with the team captain of Team 1 of Alta Vista Golf and Country Club that won the Aviators division of the recent 74th Philippine Airlines Interclub played at the Cebu Country Club and Club Filipino Incorporada de Cebu. We're here outdoors at Alta Vista Golf and Country Club, and I am with my good friend Blake Nelson. Go, Blake. Good day and congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Blake, Alta Vista set some sort of a record in the PAL Interclub. No? This is the first time that a club won 2 titles in 2 divisions for 1 interclub. So how does it feel?
Wow, actually, that was never part of the plan. No, the plan was really to grind and play, play our best, and everything just came. No, when we were playing, and then on the first day we led, and then the second day we also lead again. On the third day we were down, so we were never thinking about that. And then it was only the 4th day that parang everyone was like, what? If we win 2 division, it will be the first time in 74 years for the history of the tournament. So, and that was the part that everyone was scared na. Parang we were scared to putt because the pressure came in. But it was a good, very, very good experience.
Well, to most people, golf looks like a game played, just it's a stupid game for them because you hit the ball, you look for it, then you hit it again and look for it again. But anyway, you talked of pressure, you talked of winning putts. So, what got you into golf in the first place?
Okay. Actually, it's a very funny story, no one really plays golf in our family. It was most of my friends back in grade school that they were all playing golf, like Mark D, Vincent Osmeña. We were all from different schools, and then we all hung out, so we all started play golf. So it was just, that's how it started with friends, no? A group of friends who played golf, and then until now we still play. So it really brings us together, no? After all these years.
Well, you've been a junior golfer. You've played in a lot of tournaments, no? So you were team captain of Alta Vista in 2020.
Yes.
That was the first time. So what makes 2020 and 2023 different? Well, of course, it's a span of 3 years. We had 2 years. There was no PAL Interclub because of the pandemic. So what made the first and the second one different?
Definitely the second one sweeter. No, of course we won the 2 title division. No, but the first year kasi it was more like getting to know the team, how to operate, how to strategize, and how you plan. So it was more a learning stage. But this year, I was being comfortable, meaning the Alta Vista gave me the authority to pick my players based on the handicaps. They gave me all the list of the, I would say, the UNHS, and then we had a practice round. So, and in between, we changed players as well. So it was more on that, I guess, the free hand, and the bond of the team where everybody was, I would say, with all the practice, everyone was very comfortable. In the end, it gave us a good result, no? So that was the key, the team play.
And even the nice uniforms, like the ones we're wearing now.
The very nice uniforms from...
Well, Blake, you mentioned that, PAL Interclub is not just playing, it's strategy. So it's strategy. So the strategy starts from forming the team.
Forming the team.
Okay, so what is in forming the team that you have to keep in mind so that the audience will also have an idea, because they know that we had a PAL Interclub in Cebu. There were so many golfers who were here. It was good for sports tourism, as Mayor Mike Rama had said, but then what goes on inside the tournament? I think that's something very interesting.
Okay, PAL Interclub is really I played so many tournaments, no? But this is a club sanctioned tournament. I would say club sponsored tournament. You're playing for your club. It's the best of all the clubs in the Philippines. So the pressure is there because it's not an individual sport anymore. Like if you play bad or well, you just reward yourself. But this one, you're representing the club. So I think that pressure alone is a big pressure already. Even playing, no? You practice, you swing, but when it comes to PAL Interclub, the swing's gone. You're putting up so near, but then when it comes to the pressure, wala, it's different. No? So I guess it's the whole tournament kasi it's been running one of the longest tournament in the Philippines, and it's I would say the most prestigious team event in the Philippines.
And we have so many entries from abroad also who are coming over.
Correct.
Which made the local officials very happy because it was sports tourism in action. In the real sense of the word of sports tourism. So Blake, aside from the PAL Interclub, I understand you once represented the country in the World Amateur Golf Championships. So what's the difference? You went abroad. Now you're playing here in the Philippines. So what's the difference?
To be honest, no, I played WAGC. WAGC was also a very good experience for me individually, no. The pressure for PAL kasi, you're also playing with your friends and people you know. So I think it was more pressure because of course there's also a pride of the club. You're representing your club and you want to win as your club to be. So parang you'll be proud of it, no.
Plus the taunting. The taunting that you know we were up against our friends from Cebu Country Club and other clubs from Cebu. So
other clubs from Cebu, the whole process. I mean, even there's some people I played in the same flight. No, they're from Cebu Country Club from Zamboanga. You'll be surprised. There's the small things that they do that will distract you during the tournament. So everybody wants to win, and it's really pride of the club. No, you represent your club. So I guess that's the really, I would say kaya it's very grabe yung pressure, no?
Okay. Well, your teammates were you had a combination of teammates, Filipino and Korean.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had actually we have in the beginning we had 3 Koreans in the team and all 7 Filipinos or Filipino Chinese or Filipino Spanish, no? And then one had a small injury in between, like, you know, after we submitted the list. So we had a last minute change, which also was a good result because he also contributed to the team points, no? And it's also challenging to have Koreans in the team because, you know, there's a barrier of language barrier at the same time. But, you know, as long as you just practice and play together, everybody's comfortable to each other. That's the key point of the team play.
Well, more than playing, what else did you have to do as team captain?
Actually, I think to my players, no, I'm sorry. I would say I think I was very to them. I pushed them hard. Like 4 a.m. we were up. By 5 o'clock we were in the driving range or we were in the simulator every round. I pushed them to play even on Sunday on family days. So I think those practice or those team effort that we did made a change, made that single point or that single putt that made us win.
But you didn't get any angry text from the wives or the girlfriends that, you know, Blake, they're supposed to be with me today, but you had to get them?
Actually, none. So far, all the wives were very supportive. No, some of the players on Sundays, the wife will even drop them to the golf course and pick them up for lunch because they have lunch. So I was so lucky as a captain that the wives were very supportive, including my wife and the wife of my teammates. So that was plus points.
Okay. Well, Blake, the victory, when you went up the stage at IEC Pavilion during the awarding, how did it feel?
The best feeling. I've been playing this PAL Interclub for the longest time. This is the first time for the Alta Vista won the men's champion. We were champion our division. So in Bisaya pa ningon si Enrico, di mabayad kwarta ang kalipay. Di good. Good. So it's the best feeling. You know, it's something that you cannot. There's no words, no. And to see all your teammates, everybody was so happy because they really put effort and time. And of course, to Alta Vista, they believe in us. They gave us the opportunity to play for the club. We were very thankful, no.
Well, thank you very much for joining me here. You will be back later because I'll be talking to you together with the team captain of our team 2.
Okay.
All together, we'll talk about the future of the teams of the club and what else would you bring to the next generation of golfers. We will have that when we return with Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show. Welcome back to Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show. And this time, I am with the team captain of Alta Vista Team 2, Richelieu Mariano Ho. You have to put the Mariano because that's the name of his dad, who's also a good friend of mine. Rich, congratulations and welcome to our show here on MyTV.
Yeah, thank you, GM, for having me.
Okay, well, Rich, this is the first time we actually had a Team 2 for the club. So, well, this was formed upon the suggestion of two brothers or members of the team to form a Team 2. So, how difficult or how easy was it to find members for a second team for a club?
Well, it was a bit challenging because we had to position ourselves in to be like a contending Team 2 for Alta Vista. And then the most challenging part was most of us did not know each other or were not regularly playing together.
Okay.
So we didn't know each other's game. So it was sort of the Team 2 was formed rather last minute, I would think.
Yeah, there were a lot of changes.
Yeah, there were a lot of changes, and then so we didn't have enough time to get to know each other's game. So you know, we had to strategize well.
So that was your challenge as captain.
Yes.
So which is easier, triathlon or golf?
Honestly, triathlon.
I'm mentioning that because Richie is also a triathlete, but now he's more focused on his golf. That's why he became team captain of Team 2.
Yes, I was telling my wife the night before the PAL, especially the final day, that I was more nervous for PAL compared to the triathlon.
Well, anyway, your team is composed mainly of rookies in the interclub.
Yes.
Rookies in the sense that this is the first time they played in such tournament. So, well, I was a rookie in the interclub. Not really as good as you and Blake and the other players, but that was way back in 2000 in Cagayan de Oro. I played for Mercedes Plantation. So it felt different. Although I have been playing in the media tournament in the previous years, but when I played in the actual tournament, it was different. Like I was a bit shaky when I was hitting the ball. So did you feel the same?
Yes, actually, being a rookie had its advantages. Now, early on, there was really not much expectations. Our mindset was just to have fun. But then as we progressed, the pressure was slowly building up. So,
well, your team led after the first day.
Yeah, by one point.
So how did it feel to see your team name up there in the?
Felt good, but you know we didn't have enough cushion for our lead. So it's a good thing. During the second day, we slowly built up. We had a bigger margin by then, so we were more relaxed.
Well, you mentioned your lack of familiarity with the team members. So how did you go about fielding which 5 for the first day? Because in this tournament, you field 5 players per round. And then you have a team of 10 players. You field 5 players per round and nobody can play more than 2 rounds. Then of the 5, only 4 will count. So that is where strategy comes in. So how did you go about deciding which 5 to field? Like you're a rookie in the tournament, you're a rookie captain with a team that you really don't know much about.
Yeah, so I just took it that I was familiar, although we didn't really play together often, but I was familiar with them already. So it was more of mixing and matching and where to assign these guys, where their game had much more strength. So let's say one player had more strength for Danao and the other one for Country Club. So it was positioning them.
Well, you mentioned of strength in a certain course. So what makes like Club Filipino course in Danao different from Cebu Country Club? For the benefit of the audience who don't play golf, or for the golfers who'd like to know more about these courses.
Yeah, well, Danao is really a more challenging golf course. No? It has more penalties there if you don't hit it well. It's not exactly the longest, but you really have to place your ball properly.
So golf is not just hitting the ball, but knowing where to place it.
Yes, it's not how far you hit the ball.
Yeah.
It's really more of a mental game. Like you said earlier, some people find this game stupid because you hit
Yeah.
the ball, you go after it. But the mental side of it is really difficult. No?
So how rewarding has golf been? Well, I'm sure you'd have a lot to say after winning the title.
Winning, how much more rewarding can you ask for, right? So it was a very good experience for us.
Well, I asked this question to Blake, shortly before we closed the first segment. How did it feel when you went up the stage to receive your trophy as team champion?
Well, firstly, a big relief. Finally, everything was done. But then it was we brought so much pride to the club, and I was proud with my team members. Everybody had so much fun, and it was a good experience for us. So.
So are you keeping the team for next year?
We'll see. Depends on the management of Alta Vista.
Well, of course, if you want to field two teams, no member of the second team must have a lower handicap than any member of the first team.
Yes.
So that's something we have to balance. And then most likely some of your players might even make it to team one next year.
It's still a year from now, no?
Yeah. So, Rich, any word for those who'd like to take up golf and those, who'd like to switch from triathlon back to golf?
From triathlon back to golf.
From golf back to triathlon.
It's a really different sport, no? Some find it. Usually, you get comments like golf is an expensive sport. Maybe to some extent, but it's also a very challenging and rewarding game. And then it's more appealing, I guess, is the older you get.
The older you get. Although we're encouraging the young ones to become junior golfers.
New talents. The new talents.
Okay, thank you very much, Rich. And later on, you'll join me with Blake.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the future.
All right.
We'll be back with more on Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show. We're back here at Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show. This is the last segment for this episode where I have the two team captains of Alta Vista's winning teams in the 74th Philippine Airlines Interclub Tournament. We have Blake Go of Team 1, champion in the Aviators division, and of course Richelieu Mariano Ho of Team 2, champion in the Friendship division. So Blake and Rich, earlier we talked about your teams. Now let's talk a little about the future. I know you guys are also very much into promoting golf to the young ones. Although Richie said earlier that, the older you get, golf becomes a sport of choice. But then we are also pushing for the kids to start sports.
Actually, I'm a product of a June Golf program. No? I started golf when I was 10, 11. So I wish my parents would have pushed me earlier pa. So, golf will be a lot easier, I guess. No? So, yeah.
Are you also doing this to your son now, Bas? I mean, he's starting to play football, but I'm sure next time I'll see him on Divine's channel, Bas might be holding a golf club or whatever.
Actually, yes. Actually, I want Bas to play golf, no? But it's just so happened that the golf kasi the shaft is there's steel in the. So we're kind of scared that he might swing in the house. Na, I would say we want him to be more mature a little bit, that he knows what he's doing, because he might be swinging the club in the house. But definitely he'll play golf, definitely, for sure, at the age of 6.
Okay, Rich, how early did you start playing golf?
Probably 8 or 10.
Okay.
But I didn't play that long. I never joined any June golf. I was just following the footsteps of my dad.
Okay.
And then I stopped, and then I just recently came back. So.
Yeah, but then would you encourage parents to get their kids into golf as early as possible?
Yes, golf is a very good sport to promote discipline and
honesty.
Honesty. The mental discipline is very difficult. So it requires a lot of practice, waking up early. So I think it's good for children. I'm even having my kids practicing golf already. My youngest, 6 years old. He loves to hit the ball, but he never played a round of golf in the golf course yet.
Well, my son started when he was 11, you know, but then eventually we still went back to football.
Yeah.
It's still our first love.
It's okay, but as long as you start young, you
Yeah.
start them young, and then even if they drift to another sport, when they come back, it's so much easier.
One thing I did notice for those who start junior golf is that their swing is there.
Yeah.
The beauty of their swing is different from guys like us who started when we were in our mid-20s to 30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
it's like riding a bike.
Uh-huh.
Actually, there's a lot of golfers I also know who started late and who has a really nice swing. No? So it really depends on the person who really wants to learn and get a good coach. Actually, the key here is to have a good coach. No?
Okay.
Get the fundamental and the basic. Because some people, they just play and then they don't really get a good coach, and they start the bad habits. No.
Well, you mentioned coaching. You know, a lot of people think, okay, golf, the ball is just there. It's not moving, unlike tennis, unlike baseball, unlike football, the ball is moving.
Yes.
But golf is not really that easy.
It's not.
It doesn't move, but it's hard to hit.
Yes. The ball is so small and the hole is so small. And you hit it about 300 yards to put it inside. So that alone is very hard.
Well, you mentioned coaching. I know coaching is very important, but now it has developed to more than just a coach for golf, but also a coach for many other things like fitness and everything.
Actually, yes, that's so important. Actually, coach, when they're young, they're at 6 years old. These kids, their idol is their coach. Whatever their coach say, they listen. Sleep early, don't drink soft drinks, drink milk, everything. All this, they really follow their coach. So it's very important to have a good coach for the kids now.
Well, Rich, in your case, you switched from golf to the more rigorous triathlon. Of course, you mentioned earlier that golf is very much mental compared to triathlon. So, what would you suggest to people? There are a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, and even us in the 50s who are doing multi-sports. So, anything that you could share with them with regards to switching from one sport to another?
Well, I guess coming from triathlon, it has some similarities to it. No, it's you're playing against yourself basically. You need to train. And then basically you need to your goal is to beat yourself. So
and being in the outdoors.
Yeah, but being in the outdoors.
Yeah.
But in golf you avoid the water.
Yes.
Unlike in triathlon, you have no choice, but you have to swim.
You have to swim
to start off the race. So Blake, you mentioned earlier that you want to get your son into golf. You were into junior golf before, so the other parents, how would you suggest to them to start off?
Okay. For the parents, first of all, you get a coach or apply in a golf club. Like Alta Vista, there's a very good junior golf program. They start at 6 years old, so as early as 6, you can bring your kids. The whole summer, they'll be here. There's a coach. There's a good training facility and a really good golf course. So that, I think you start with that. And that's the starting point for golf.
I think mainly for kids, before you plug in so much fundamentals, I think you have to make it fun for them.
Okay.
For them to enjoy the game and then to stick to it, because you really have to discipline yourselves. And then golf promotes, like I said earlier, discipline and patience. So it has a good training for young kids.
Well, as Blake mentioned earlier, he started playing golf with friends. No? Now, as team captains of the two winning teams of Alta Vista, what do you think is the future of the club in terms of participating in the big events like the 𝗙𝗨𝗟𝗏 Interclub, the junior golf events, the WAGC, and many others? So, what do you think? Let's start with Blake.
Okay, of course, like I said, important in a team, when everybody's aligned, everybody thinks alike, you have the same goal, everybody gets along with each other. That's I would say the key point of winning, because in any team, if there's someone that's not like aligned to everyone, I mean, there's it's different, the vibe. So I guess teamwork players is very important for a team sport event like 𝗙𝗨𝗟𝗏 Interclub. But of course, you will also look at the roster of all the members in the club based on the handicap on the division that you're playing, and then you also parang the Ryder Cup. They get from the list of the top 20 players in the world, but it's the captain who decide who to field for the weekend.
Yeah, and
So,
it's not always who is the higher ranked player who wins his
not
match.
necessarily,
against
because some players have the lowest handicap when they practice alone, but when it comes to pressure, they can't perform. There's also players who has higher handicap, but when it comes to pressure, they eat that for breakfast or lunch. They like pressure. So it really depends on the player, and you know your players and who to field for the day, because it's a 4-day tournament. So you also know that this guy can play well 2 straight days or 3 straight days. So you really have to know the players. No? That's important.
So now that you know that Richie can deliver, so well, I'm sure there will be changes in the lineups in the future, no, in the coming year. So Team 2 is like a farm team. No? It's like the team where we prepare our next level or our next Team 1. So how do you appreciate that role?
Well, the unexpected accomplishment this year, no,
Yeah.
with the recent PAL Interclub was very fulfilling, and I think sort of a little pressure is there, but
Yeah.
I guess as a club for Alta Vista, we have to take it to a higher level, I guess.
Yeah.
No?
So higher division next year.
Maybe.
Well, talking of alignment, well, we have the same shirt, we have the same color of pants. That's alignment for you. It was wonderful talking to you guys, Blake
Thank you
and
for
Richie.
having
And congratulations once again to Alta Vista Team 1 and Team 2 for winning your division titles in the 74th Philippine Airlines Interclub Golf Tournament. Well, we call this place our home course, our home club, because here we are at home. But then Cebu is also home to us, and sports tourism helps Cebu grow into an even bigger and better place for all of us. Thanks to Blake and to Richie for joining me for this episode of Fullpoint, the Cebu Sports Show. Until the next episode, I'm your host, Nimrod Quiñones.